Hi, I hope the audio is clear this time. I'm really sorry about last time. So, first, I guess we misunderstood each other. I thought you were referring to social issues like abortion and gay marriage. Either way, I don't think there's really a unique net benefit to transferring power from the federal level to the state. The federal government is also democratically elected and also represents the people. Also, the idea that you're closer to your state's representative than your congressman is somewhat outdated. The National Conference of State Legislatures points out that the average size of a state legislator's district is 50,000 people. If a state legislator spends 10 minutes per constituent, they would use up about 500,000 minutes, which is roughly the total minutes that exist per year. The idea of retail politics just doesn't reflect the reality of America today. Furthermore, I believe the federal level is more responsive to voter needs. Voter turnout and voter awareness is generally higher on national issues than state issues. The people themselves care a lot more about the federal government than their state government. Since the majority of contact voters have their government officials is via the media, and their national officials are more represented in the media, voters have a much better idea what their senator, president, or congressman is doing than their state legislator. Additionally, a critical idea of democracy is minorities' rights. The honest truth is that if that social issues would evolve to the state level, many states would restrict a woman's right to choose, suppress voting rights for minorities, and roll back homosexual rights. We need to protect the rights of the most vulnerable. Finally, I'd also point out that none of these arguments have a significant impact. Voter representation is a vague concept, versus the idea of specific rollback of rights for homosexuals and minorities. I'd argue that the concrete impacts will always flow to my direction. Second, I also believe that the economic impacts which result in death are always going to outweigh. Next, when I argue about the need to get rid of state and federal oppression, I'm again referring to social issues, like the right to an abortion or marriage. On national security, I say that the Greens are nonviolent, pacifist, and non-interventionist. I think the audio is pretty clear there, and intuitively, it just doesn't make sense to believe that the Green Party would endorse war or violence. The reason I don't respond is because this is an issue that our parties agree. We are the party of dirty hippies, yo. We don't want war. On regulation, let me read the party platform of the Libertarian Party of Michigan, which writes, the government should be removed entirely from the licensing process, including occupational licensing. So my point about unlicensed doctors still stands. Again, this is going to be a reason to vote for me because you never give me an example of a specific license or regulation you think is bad. While I give you specific regulations which I'm telling you are critical to preserving health, such as medical licensing. Finally, you fail to respond to the big argument of my case, which is that on the economy, the libertarians are just wrong. They advocate the end of the Federal Reserve and massive cuts to government spending. You don't touch this argument, which means that you concede that voting libertarian would collapse our economy. A world of economic stagnation is a world where war is more likely to happen, which turns your national security argument. And a world of economic depression is one world where we are more poor, more hungry, and more sick. A U.S. economic decline would trigger cuts in food aid, which U.S. aid anticipates would lead to 1.8 million deaths worldwide in the first year. And the UN reports that 2008 recession was responsible for several million deaths. We can't repeat the Great Depression, and we can't vote libertarian. For all those reasons, I'm proud to negate.